I'm back. I'm back here in the UK. I'm no longer in France. So welcome along. And if you're just joining for the first time tonight, welcome along. Just see someone's just joined as a member, I think. Noggy the Noggin, welcome along. I think that might be you, Matt, from the other night, from Saturday. So maybe it is, but yeah. Thank you very much for becoming a channel supporter. Most appreciated. Anyway, welcome along, everybody, tonight. We've got a lot to cover off. Yeah, back in the garage, although it's been red hot, hasn't it? So I'm sure a lot of you have been suffering with the weather, but welcome along. What we're going to talk about tonight? Well, what are we not going to talk about? Hello, Andy. How are you? Good evening. Let me all know where you're watching from tonight, guys. Put in the comments if you are watching right now live. Hello, Steve. How you doing, buddy? Great to see you on Saturday in the lovely car that you own as well. So, guys, put in the comments where you're watching from. And don't forget, take a link to this and make sure you share it far and wide. Get a link to this video and put it on your social media. Put it on Facebook. Put it on Insta. Put it on TikTok even. Link people back to the TT Live Show for people you think might be interested in what we're going to talk about. So we've got a lot of topics to cover tonight. Where do I start? I'm trying to think. What should I start with? Well, let's just talk about Saturday, shall we? We had a great show on Saturday. Hello, Vanessa. Good to have you along this evening. We had a great show Saturday, and you might have noticed if you've seen the post I've put out about tonight's show, we saw some different cars. We saw some old cars. We saw some old friends as well. First time out for a few people, which I'm going to cover off as well. But we also saw some new cars. There were three cars I'm going to talk about from that show tonight. One of which is a member's car, which is Steve's car. He's already on tonight. We're going to talk about his new business he's just started as well. So we'll cover off that. We're also going to talk about that lovely grey car that we saw. They had some real interesting body parts. It was done in matte. It was grey matte paint. Interesting. Looked like it just masked the glass off and everything else got a coat of paint, which was quite interesting. And of course, there was also Jason's car that was there, a Nardo grey car, if you saw it, 225. And it's obviously not a factory colour, that Nardo grey on the Mark 1, but it is an Audi colour. And Jason's having some problems with some air conditioning. So we're going to talk about all those topics tonight, see how you can help people out. Let's have a look what we've got on tonight. Who have we got on? Some old and new friends, I think, are joining us tonight for the first time. Who have we got? Jack. Hello, Jack. How are you doing? Hope you're well tonight, buddy. TEDR, Tedder. Hello, Andy. New York here. Well, we are transatlantic tonight. I'm welcome along. Great to have you guys along. It must be about 2:30 in the afternoon where you are. Paul Hutchinson, welcome along as always from North Yorkshire. And Darren Nederhoff, also another transatlantic viewer. Welcome along again, Darren. Great to have you along also. And Mr. Bumpy Pickle. Hello, Andy and fellow TT lovers. Yeah, you've commented on a few things, but I'm not sure where you're from. Let me know in the comments where you're based as well. And Peter Loden from Scotland, welcome back to the TT Mark 1 fraternity as well. Peter recently picked up a lovely Mark 1 to get back into scene. So welcome along to you as well, Peter. Mark Stanley, how are you doing, buddy? Always recommending some great features and great bits and pieces that Mark supplies. So if you've got a Mark 1 that you are struggling to get hold of some parts for, maybe they don't make those parts anymore, Mark is your guy. So drop Mark a message and he can get hold of most things. A lot of new old stock that maybe even Audi don't have. So Mark is definitely the person to speak to. Thank you, Mr. Bumpy Pickle, for your like and subscribe. Steve, Chesham and Tracy, how are you doing, guys? I hope you're well. It was great to see you both on Saturday and talk about your cars. Talk about maybe that lovely yellow Roads that you've got. Will you sell it? Will you not? I think it might be off the market at the moment. But the quandary about keeping these cars and should we sell them and try and get some money back out of them. It's always a bit of a battle, particularly when you've got that many cars. Noggin, good evening again. So thank you for becoming a member this evening. Guys, if you're not a member, you want to become a member, click the little join link down below. Your support is always appreciated. But we've got a lot of new members joining tonight and a lot of non-members as well that are joining for the first time. So welcome along. Phil Gonzalez, how are you doing? Great to see you on Saturday in that lovely car as well. Mr. Bumpy Pickle joins from South Africa. So, wow. So, we are at least 3 continents we've got on tonight. Jack, do a live streaming next on your Tesla. Jack, I could do that, couldn't I? I could get the Tesla on the channel. It's a bit of a Marmite car, that, though. So, people do like it. People don't like it. But that, of course, has its own channel. So the Tesla has Andycharger_electric. So if you want to check out that channel as well, hasn't got that many subscribers, but if you want to subscribe to that as well as being on here, please check that out as well, because I'm trying to bring more content to the electric car market as well, to see if we can keep that going in the same way that we invigorate the Audi TT Mark 1 fraternity here. Anyone know where to get a CCM wiring diagram? Steve Chesham, thank you so much for your kind donation. Thank you very much, sir, for that £4.99 donation. You are a gent and a scholar. Hope you managed to get that stain out of that lovely Andycharger cap as well. Sure you did. But or maybe it didn't even stain, so fingers crossed it didn't. But yeah, so let's talk about those cars from the weekend, shall we? So, of course, the first car to talk about, which has been on the channel a couple of times in different features, is a member that's on here as well, which is Steve Craddock's business. Now, Steve has started his own detailing business, and he's offering a discount for any new any members to the channel. So if you're an Andycharger member of the channel, he's offering you a £200 discount off a full detail. Can't ask for more than that. I mean, a full detail isn't just a quick job either. The detail he goes into, you want to check out his car. So if you go over, not right now, but maybe later, go and check out the post I put up, the red car, and even the cover art to this live tonight. The red car that you see shining away is Steve's own handiwork. Steve's got a new business going, a new business venture on detailing. And I did say I want to do all I can to support Steve. I'm all up for supporting new ventures and new business, and helping out fellow Mark 1 owners as well. Let's see what we can detail the business. So guys, if you want to get your car detailed and you don't know how to do it, or maybe you want to get done by a professional, Steve is your man. So if you want to get that discount, become a channel member and get £200 off any or full detailing for the business. So again, if you want to check out Steve's work, check out the cover art. If you want to get in touch with Steve, you can get in touch with him directly on here. He's in the chat, and get some details from him, or you can drop me a message and I'll happily put you in touch with him. So just going to go through those comments. A few things have popped up. Jack has subscribed. Thank you, Jack, for subscribing to the Tesla channel. Appreciate that, buddy. Chris Carr, how are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. I think we'll have to get you to catch up with us at some point in the near future. Hopefully you might be coming to the event or holding on the 5th of September, I'm going to talk about later, which will be Quattrophenia. Quattrophenia 5, the 5th edition of Quattrophenia this year. How amazing is that? Barry Higgins, Barry from Ireland. I have a 2002 Mark 1 BAM Audi TT. I was thinking of putting on, I guess, that side skirts on my Audi from a Mark 4 Golf. Am I going too far? What do you think? I don't know if they'd even fit with that. I know it's the same chassis, but I don't know if it would fit the side skirts. Might be an interesting project. Maybe someone's already done it. What do you think, guys? Do you think that is a good thing to do? Dave James, I want my van detailing. Where is he? Dave, rather. Steve is in the comments. He is based in around Enfield. So if you want to get in touch with him, he's based in North London. I think he's got his own, well, I know he's got his own detailing booth now and his own facility to do this in. I've seen the pictures of it and it looks amazing. So this isn't just someone that comes to your house and does mobile. He might do that as well. I don't know, but I know he will definitely have your vehicle into the workshop and make it look pucker. So if you're interested in that, Dave, drop me a message or drop Steve a message in the chat here and I'm sure he'll pick it up. Chris says, beastie engine now in and running. Chris, I reckon that is going to be an absolute monster car once you finish. We know that engine has got a serious pedigree from Gordon, the wee Scottish beastie engine. Looking forward to seeing that all up and running. And maybe we do a feature. It'd be great to do a feature with a transplanted, engine from a car we've already covered here on the channel into a new vehicle. So I guess it's a bit like a heart transplant, isn't it? Almost. You're getting a engine out of one amazing car and putting in another. Tony Hollyoak, evening, Andy. Great videos from France, by the way. Thank you, Tony, so much. We had such a great time. I've got so much footage to work through. The video is probably going to take a bit of time. And I don't know if you know, but we've got, I did on the way back stop at the, I'm going to call it Reims Guer track as well. It's spelt Reims. If you look at if you look on a French map, you see the town of Reims. It's actually not pronounced Reims. It's pronounced Reims. So there you go. A little bit of a fact for you. But that town, just outside that town, about 4 kilometres outside, is an old Formula One Grand Prix track. And there's not much of the track left. There's an actual straight, a long straight on a road. that's now the D27, if I remember the road number. But as you travel down this, in the middle of nowhere in the countryside, you get this amazing grandstand, and pits loom out the distance at the side of either side of the road. And you can pull your car over, you can stop, and you can get out and take pictures. You're not meant to stop, guys, by the way. I should add that into the conversation. But I did stop, and I got out and I took some pictures. I did some videoing. I got inside the buildings as well and did some filming from above. It's going to be a great video to share with you guys. And the reason I'm talking about that is next year, I'm going back and repeating the trip I've just done with a few slight tweaks to it. We're going to do it in 7 days. And what we're going to do is we're going to set off on Saturday, the 12th of June. And we are going to drive over 2 days to the south of France. It's about 900 miles down there, so about 450 miles a day from Calais. And we're going to stop overnight on the first night in Dijon. Then we're going to drive on to San Rafael on the second day, and we're going to stay in San Rafael for 3 nights. I think is where we're going to stay. And we are going to take in on one of those 3 days. We're going to go and do the Corniche, the Estrelle Corniche, amazing coastal road that you drive right around the coast, around all the mountain roads off the coast, get some fantastic views of the Mediterranean. And then we're going to come back and stay in San Rafael. The second day, possibly, we will drive to Monaco and take in Monaco, which is absolutely amazing to see. And the reason I've chosen this weekend is it will be about the Tuesday at this point, don't forget. We're going to be about 8 to 9 to 10 days after the Monaco Grand Prix. And the reason I've done that is if we go at that period, the track will still be set up, or mostly set up, from the Grand Prix 8 days beforehand. And what that will allow us to do is it'll allow us to drive most of the track loop of the Formula One track. Very slowly, of course, because there's normal cars using it during the day. But the Armco will all be up. You'll get a real feel for the Monaco Grand Prix, what was there if you've not been. I've not been to the Monaco Grand Prix. But if you've watched the Grand Prix and you're a Formula One fan, just driving around those roads, as soon as you hit that track where that Armco is, you know exactly where you are on the track and you can follow it with your eyes shut almost. Driving through the tunnel as you come out of Portier, amazing experience. You see some amazing cars driving around there, not just our Formula One cars, our Audi TT Mark 1s. So if you want to come on that trip next year, drop me a message at the channel, drop me an email. We're going to put some more details out as more things firm up. I'm also going to make an event video of this year's trip that we took, covering off all the elements, what it's cost me, how long it's taken, what I've seen, what I've learned as well. I learned quite a few things about road tripping to the south of France this time, things that I'd like to share with you guys as well, and also ways that you can make it a bit cheaper as well. There's no need to spend 20 euros a morning on breakfast. No, what you can do is you can do what myself and my wife did, and we bought some bits from the Intermarché, and we'd sit at a nice air on a nice quiet motor road, on a quiet air, on a quiet country road in the mountains. Sit there on a picnic table, there's loads of those around, just sit there and have breakfast together, and it was the most amazing experience. And we're going to drive back through the mountains, don't forget, guys. We are going to come back through the mountains. We're going to come back across Rue de Napoleon on the way back, taking some mountain views, and then probably stop somewhere around the Dijon area, maybe not in Dijon itself. And then on the last day, we will drive back to Calais and come home on the following Saturday. But what we'll do on that day is we will stop on the way back at that Reims Formula One track as well, taking the views from that. That's about 2.5 hours from Calais, but it's on our route. So, guys, let me know in the chat if you think you'd be interested in coming along to that next year and if you want the details. Looking forward to Monaco, says Vanessa. Yeah, whilst you are all driving, Ronnie and I could go shopping. Ronnie won't be going shopping. Definitely not in Monaco. I was going to get her to stand outside and video me going past, but I think when she's on her own, I wouldn't want to do that to her, it's a 20-minute lap around there. But yeah, we can sort something out anyway. We'll definitely do something. Just having a quick look through the comments. Steve said, thank you, Andy. Company name has been bought and registered with the company's house. Website is being built now. Steve, can you share the name of your company now so that we can start getting that out there and getting it shared with people that want to come and see? Dave James was mentioning on here just a moment ago, he's looking for someone to detail his vans. So, Steve, that could be another job of one of your first clients. I know you've got some great cars in this week that you're detailing. Looking forward to seeing the results of those. Mark Stanley, and the money donated, does it go to you or to YouTube? Yeah, any donations I get, YouTube take a percentage. So whatever you donate to me, YouTube take half of it, guys, as well. So only half it goes to the channel for us doing what we do. But it's the YouTuber tax, I guess you probably class it as. So yeah, so we get half of what you donate. But everything you donate, guys, is always most appreciated because it does help us keep the channel going and do things like we've got here. Obviously, the camera that now moves. Obviously, that's thanks to a gimbal that I've got that I bought with the money, so it allows me to talk to you guys and move around the garage. You can probably see in the background, I haven't got the Roadster in the garage tonight, even though we've just come back from France in it. It's just outside the door, the Roadster. I've got the 3.2 V6 in the garage, and there's a reason for that, which I'm going to cover very, very shortly. So, guys, if you are interested in Monaco, do let me know on the details. Robbo and 60% to YouTube. Yeah, they do take a chunk on. There's Steve's business name, Precision Auto Detailing. Can't speak. Precision Auto Detailing Limited. So there you go. Check out Steve's business. But yeah, so there's lots and lots of things that I've not even covered off yet, but we're going to talk about that anyway. So strap yourselves in, guys. Make sure you've got a drink. Wish I had one here because I haven't got one. And I could do with one right now because I've got a lot to get through and talk about. But I'll take a breath and then we'll talk about what we're going to talk about next, which is those cars at the weekends. We've talked about Steve's car that we saw, which is the detailed car, but then we'll move on to Alex's car. Now, Alex had a 180 finished in matte grey. I don't know what colour grey it was. I don't think Alex knew himself. He had some paint left over from a Land Rover, I believe, and that's what he used to paint the car. So it was quite an interesting paint job. He said that the bodywork was quite tired on the car, a lot of damage to it, so he gave it a coat of this paint, and he's coated everything. He's coated all the plastics, he's coated the body and the metal work, he's coated all the trims, he's coated the TT petrol flap, you name it, have been covered in this paint. Now, it's not a car that you would think is going to be, you know, a garage queen. You know, he's done it to keep the rust away and keep it just looking uniform and hide all those rough spots. But it had some quite interesting features on it. The first thing it had on it when I noticed it, it sat very high, which was quite unusual. But also it had an abbed front bumper, which was quite an interesting thing to have painted matte grey. But he had an abbed front bumper on it. Hats off to him. He's got something a bit different at the front. And then when we got around the back of the car, he had a Votex rear spoiler. So he had a Votex back end, an abbed front end. It was a 180 car, so it wasn't even a 225, and it had been sprayed matte grey. And we were saying that the car itself, it's a 180, but it is a Quattro, I think, is what it was. And I think he does want. Probably he bought it. I think he bought it quite cheaply off another sort of a channel subscriber, let's say, or was influenced to buy it from a channel subscriber. And I think he bought it cheap actually from someone in Chelmsford, but he was influenced by a channel subscriber on here. He might know as well. And yeah, I mean, it runs. He drives it. He's getting pleasure out of it. But I think if you're going to have a 180 car, then obviously the one you want to have is probably the two-wheel drive one, I would say, because it's going to be a bit lighter. I think the 180 two-wheel drive coupe is probably the lightest of the cars, because don't forget the 150 has got the can't speak, has got the convertible strengthening and the bars and the extra torsion bits underneath. There's a lot more bracing. It makes that Roadster quite heavy. So the 180 two-wheel drive coupe is probably the lightest of the series of cars. So with it being the lightest, obviously you probably get down the road a bit quicker. It's also got the KO3 turbo in it, so it obviously spools a bit quicker than the Quattro 225 turbo that the KO4 turbo does. So it'll get you down the road a bit quicker. Maybe once you're down the road, it's not going to keep that speed going, but it is going to at least get you down the road. So definitely an interesting project for him. I think he was telling me he's got an exhaust as well, I think, to go on that as well. Might be wrong, but it might be some good features on that. So if you check out the pictures on the post as well tonight, you'll see that car as well. And then, of course, the last car we're going to talk about that I saw Saturday, which was a bit interesting, was Jason Fisher's car. And Jason's got A lovely Nardo Grey 225 Quattro. It's got some real tricky bits under the engine. It's done a lot of work. Well, I think he bought it with the work done, but it's got an induction kit. It's got a front mount intercooler on it. It's got a catch can fitted to it. All the plastics have gone. It's all got colourful bits of aluminium under there, so it looks really nice. It's really dressed up under the engine bay. But one thing he was having a problem with, and something I want to talk to you guys about, is hello, Claire. Welcome along. Is that he was having a problem with the air conditioning? Now, you know that the Roadster's also been having a problem with air conditioning recently. But we went through a lot of the factors that could be influencing the problem that Jason was having. So the obvious things, the three little green fuses on the top that run the fans, they all seem to be okay. So that wasn't causing a problem. He's recently had the system regassed. And of course, if you've had it regassed, they are going to do a pressure test for you. There were no signs of leaking on the condenser, as we know from having my air conditioning done recently. 99 times out of 100, a lot of the problems with a leaking air conditioning system is normally through the condenser with a leak. You see it on the radiator. It has oil put into the system as part of the regas, and that obviously comes through. And you can get a UV light, and you can see if there's any leaks anywhere, which is quite clever. So there's no leaks in his system. When he's done a test with the fans, the high speed fan wasn't coming on, the low speed fan was coming on. But the Fuse 16 for the fans, I think, was all okay as well. He said, I think he's replaced the fan module, which is, I think that one. He's replaced the fan module as well, and it's not that. So the last thing he was going to do was actually replace the fans themselves. I would suggest that possibly it's going to be more on the lines of the compressor is having a problem, but who knows? I know people say the blend door could be a problem as well because it doesn't separate the cold and the hot air because there's foam that goes over the door. When you turn the blowers on, you get a face full of foam. I would suggest you get some sort of coldish air at some point during that first initial turn off, even with the blend door damage. But I might be wrong. But guys, what do you think could be the problem with Jason's air conditioning? I think it's probably going to be a bit like mine, where you've got the clutch is not engaging on the compressor. You took the compressor out. But let me know what you think. Give me some more suggestions in the chat of what could be the problem with Jason's car. I'd be interested to know what's going on. Hello, Phil. How are you doing? Good to have you along tonight as well. Rob Moore is watching from South Africa. Thank you for joining from South Africa. Good to have you guys on. Keith, hi, Andy. What material is the TT Mark 1 cover on the Roadster made from? The cover on the Roadster? Do you mean the tonneau cover on the Roadster? I'm not sure. If compressor, get one an OEM one service rather than go after market. Phil Gonzalez, similar problem. Okay, so I think we've probably got air conditioning could be something that we need to cover off on the channel. I'm going to do a deep dive into mine. I did video the guy when he came to do the air conditioning regas and talked me through the problems with the car. Talked me through problems with air conditioning in general on a TT and, well, just on cars in general, and the process for what takes. So I think it sounds like we could work through some of those problems and identify and maybe solve some of your problems. But some of those things I've spoken about, guys, if you've got problems with the AC, have you checked those things? Those are the ones that I would have thought off the top of my head. I'd say that's actually the fan module there. So that was one thing I've got a spare of if ever need to test that. Right, so Keith's asking about the roof. The roof material, it's like a real heavy-duty canvas is the roof material. It's what it's made out of. Real thick layer of canvas, I think, is probably the best thing to describe it as. What do you want to know for, Keith? What's your plan? Let me know what your plan is on that, and I'll see if I can help. And guys, if you're enjoying what you're watching, then please do click the thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. So we've got quite a few people on, but only 9 people have given it a thumbs up so far. So please do give it a thumbs up. It makes a big difference to the YouTube algorithm. It gets this content out to more people so we can get more people watching and obviously help get more people with some more answers on how we fix things as well, which would always be quite useful. But let's just go back talking about, someone's giving it a thumbs up, thank you. When we talked about Steve's detailing business, maybe you've done your own detailing. What is the best product that you found for detailing out there, guys. Name me one product that you found for detailing that you think is always the best thing to go through. It could be a cleaning product. It could be a tool. It could be anything. Let's see if we can get our top sort of like 5 items that we need for detailing. One of the first things I found when, not that I'm any sort of detailer whatsoever, because I think it's one of those jobs that just is a labour of love and it takes up too much of my time and I don't put enough into it. But clay barring a car was possibly the most revolutionary thing I'd found for making my paintwork improve. It was so good. So clay bar, I think I've got one on the shelf actually. I'll come over here. So there's my built hamber. There's my clay bar I've got in there. So if I just open it up, you need to use a lot of water with this product as well. Well, any of the clay bars, you need to use. If I open it up, can you see there it is? There's my clay inside the box. I don't know why that's just done that. Yeah, so there's the clay in the box. And then what you do, you get a lot of water on the car and you get the bar, get a piece of break, a piece of it off, and then you warm it up in your hands, get it quite soft and malleable, and you rub it over the paintwork and it brings out all of the contaminants out of the paintwork. It does a fantastic job. Steve, is that a good product? That one? That's what I would use. So good to know that the experts think the same thing. I wasn't even aware of that. I don't know if it's something new to the industry in the last sort of like 25 years, but I didn't know about this when I was a young lad, when I was first driving cars, and I was always mad for polishing my Mark III Escort. If I'd known about that, I would have been all over that product. It does a really, really good job. I know that Mr. BWSTT, Bryn Stilgo, he has got some really good clay cloth company products. So if you want any of his clay cloth products, definitely jump over to his channel. He's got a discount code for his products. So definitely support Bryn on that as well. So yeah, guys, what do you think? Let's see what else people think. That's what I use as well. So that's good. So that's good to know that that's the same product. Carl said, evening gents, have the prices on roadster hardtop shot up or are sellers testing the market? There's a few between 1,500 and 1,800. Are they fetching that? Built Hamber wheel cleaner is second to none in my opinion. So it sounds like Built Hamber is definitely a brand to go to. So that's great to know. Thanks for that feedback on that, Mark. Just going back to that question from Carl over roadster hardtops. Roadster hardtops have always commanded really, really strong money. That is probably where they sit at. I'd say £1,500 is where you are going to be looking. So there's some important things about buying a hardtop. There's also the fitting kit you need for it as well. So you need to make sure that you're not just buying the hood, you've actually got the fitting kit, all the bits bolt into as well, it fits onto. But also, if you're going to have that top off the car for a period of time, they also have a stand that they come with that you can stand it on. So not all come with that. I did speak to Tracy and Steve on Saturday, and they said that theirs comes with a bag to put it in. I know Tracy was thinking about selling her hardtop for her car at the weekend, and I think she wasn't sure what sort of money to pitch it, and even if she wanted to sell it. But obviously, one of the factors you need to think about when you're buying a hardtop for a car, guys, is the colour of your car and the colour of the hardtop, because they're mainly colour coded with a car. So if you've got a very common colour car and a common colour hardtop, you'll probably find it easy to shift on because you haven't got a factor in a repaint cost, and people will probably try and sting you for that, or say, well, it doesn't match my car, so I want some money off. And I'd say, if that's the case, I'd say go off and try and find another one in your colour car, because they are strong money and they are about that sort of money. So yeah, let's have a look through the comments. There's a few things that are popping up. Chemical Guys No Nonsense Cleaner from TEDR. That's good to know, buddy. Try it with a dedicated clay lube. Okay, Chris, I'll do that. I think that's also something else someone recommended rather than just water. I agree. Built Hamber wheel cleaner is great for getting wheels clean from noggin and noggin. That's great to know. Steve, you said you paid $1,200 for your desert green hardtop with a fitting kit. That's a good price, I think. I think at the time that would have been a good price. And I think we spoke about the weekend about a lot of these parts, and something I'm going to talk about tonight is parts. I feel, and Mark, you're probably the best person to sort of comment on this at the moment. The price of parts is definitely a lot lower than maybe it once was, I feel, particularly for the sought after what class as upgrade parts, so like a 3.2 V6 bumper, And I think the reason for that is that the number of cars are obviously coming down. So the number of parts that are available are probably going up. So cars that want those limited edition parts or very rare sought after parts, the 3.2 V6 bumper, well, more cars have now got them on anyway already. So there's not many people that want it. So, and there's not as many Mark 1s on the road as there once was. So the demand isn't there as great. So those sort of like sought after parts maybe aren't quite so sought after. And I think it's the same thing about the papaya and cars that, one of 41 ever made in this colour in the UK market, very rare colour. But as time goes by, I would imagine because it's a rare colour, people will do all they can to get the rare ones on the road. But of course, all the other colours come down in number. So the rare cars aren't quite as rare anymore because all the other colours have come down in number as well. So you probably get to the stage eventually where maybe not as low as that, but you probably find that the papayas will be not far off the number of red cars maybe that are left or silver cars because people aren't so keen to worry about keeping the more common colours on the road. So they will all sort of come down to a more even level, not even completely, but they will come down to more even level. That's just my thoughts. I currently have a Dolomite grey hardtop along with standard. I can get factory Audi covers for them. Also, wicked, Mark. So, Mark, as the sort of TT breaker of choice on here tonight, what would you be looking to retail a hardtop with a fitting kit and a stand for? What is the going price for those at the moment? It'd be great if you wouldn't mind sharing. Philip saying, always thought 2 bucket wash was over the top until I'd done it and saw how much it was in on the mitt, and when you empty the bucket, that's exactly the problem, isn't it? That if you are using 1 bucket, you're rubbing and scratching that stuff back into the paintwork. Car same, I have a silver one with full fitting kit, etc. Debating letting it go. That's interesting. That's a couple of people that have talked about letting it go, letting the hardtop go at the moment. And normally you just can't get hold of them for love nor money. The same as the Mark 1 roof rails for a roof rack. They're also quite a rare item. I wonder if they will ever get to the stage that they won't be quite as rare. Now, I heard a really interesting story on Saturday about a set of Mark 1 roof rack rails that someone bought a set of an unsuspected seller who didn't quite realise what the price. They paid £60 for these roof rails, I think, or roof bars for a TT, and we know they're worth a lot more money than that. Steve Craddock is saying, one thing I will say about clay bar use, it will mar the paint, so it will then need polishing to bring clarity back. Thanks, Steve. That's a great point that you're making there about restoring the shine once you've used a clay bar. Oh God, yeah. Back 16 years ago when I broke my first TT, I made back more than what I paid for it, which was 5,750, and I'd blown the engine up. Funnily enough, way back then, Jermaine Shillingford. All right, so Jermaine is the man that's got the really powerful Mark 1 guys as well. Oh, Jermaine was your best customer. Yeah, I bet he was. Always wanted a papaya roaster. Carla was only one of those that I'm aware of. That was owned by Bryn actually for a while, and it's now owned. And it lives up in East Anglia, I believe. That car, Mark. I've currently got mine up for £1,495. There you go. So £1,500 is roughly what those hardtops go for, guys. So that gives you an idea about price and what the cars go for. So I thought I'd also talk about, as we went to the event at the weekend, we also got to catch up. It was Jeff Bedford's event, by the way. So Jeff, I don't know if you're in the chat tonight. You may be out there, you may not be. So Jeff always runs a great event in Essex. He does a great event in Southend Seafront, which he's looking to organise for sometime in August. And he also does an event at in Burnham on Crouch as well, which we've had for the last couple of years, a Swallowtail event. I don't know if that's going ahead this year or not, but that's also a great event. But Jeff's event on Saturday was quite poignant for us because there was a long-time friend of us all in the community. Mick Wilson was actually in attendance on Saturday. Now, Mick has been quite poorly for over a year. He took ill when we went to Ypres last year, in April of last year. And he hasn't really been right since. He's had a lot of problems, medical problems. So it was great to see Mick at the show on Saturday, along with his 2 sons and his grandsons as well. And Jeff did make a lovely presentation, give him a couple of gifts, and it was great to see Mick back along. So we wish Mick all the best for the future. He owns a Mark 1, a Mark 2, and a Mark 3, so he's well known in the community. You've probably seen Mick at the show at some point. He was quite heavily involved in the TT Owners Club for a long time as well. So yeah, wishing Mick all the best in his recovery, and yeah, great to see him on Saturday. So great to see you, Mick, and thanks for all you do and all you have done in the community over the last few years. So big thanks to you. But we've got a couple of events coming up in the next few weeks. We have got Simply Audi, I believe on the 18th of July is coming up. Saturday the 18th of July, and that is down at Bewley Motor Museum. I think it's tickets only. I know it's tickets only. I think the tickets have all gone, but you'll have to check the website and that to make sure I'm right on that. Now, I'm not going to that show because obviously, as you probably remember a few years ago, on my last attendance to Bewley Motor Museum and Simply Audi, I broke down. I broke down on arrival and I had to be pushed across the car park. So I had some really bad memories for me. So hence why I'm not going back again there in any hurry. It's a great show. It's a great collection of Audis, not just TTs, but there's a collection of all Audis on display. The only thing I'll say about it compared to a lot of shows, it starts at 9 o'clock and by 11:30 people are leaving, which I think is just bonkers, because if I'm going to all that way to a TT show, I want to spend the day looking at cars, talking to people, catching up with everyone that's there. But yeah, a lot of people come and go very quickly. It's not just TTs, and I think that possibly is why the show doesn't have that closeness that a lot of our other TT shows have. But it's always a good show, and you get free entry to the museum. So if you've not been, it's worth going and checking it out. But I won't be there this weekend on the weekend of the 18th. And then exactly the next day, believe it or not, two big Audi events in 2 days. Is Audi's in the Park 300. I think its actual official title is 300 Audis are meeting up for that show. It's run by Calvin. Again, I'm not going to that myself, but there's a lot of people I know that have got tickets for it. There's a few convoys being arranged for both meets, actually. So if you want the details of any of the convoys for Bewley and the Simply Audi Museum, get yourself on the TT Addicts Facebook group. I am a moderator on that as well. There's that full events page talking about all the events that are coming up, not just for that, but there are other events going on as well over the next month or so. So go and check out what events are coming up. There was actually a TT show on last Sunday as well. So not only the show on Saturday that we went to at the Castle Inn in Great Leys, there was also a show at Podium Place run by the South Coast TT group. I know that Jack Chitty had made some comments on Facebook about attending for it as well, because I think there's, if you are going to go to these shows, it's always good to let people know if you're going to attend or not. But it's just part of organising shows, isn't it? That sometimes not everyone turns up you hope are going to be there. But yeah, it looked like it was a good show. I've seen a few pictures. So well done to the South Coast guys for putting on another great show in the South Coast. But of course, looking further afield, what else do we have coming up? Well, if we go into September, because I know a lot of you will be on your holidays in August, we are holding the fifth instalment of Quattrophenia 5. And this is where we do London to Brighton in the TT. So we start off at the Duke's Head pub in Crawley. If you've not been on there before, it's a fantastic little venue for meeting up. It's a nice big car park. We can get about 50 TTs in the car park. We'll start there at 11 o'clock, and then by 12 o'clock, we head down the road towards Brighton. And we do normally go over Ditchling Beacon, which is a great little vantage point, great views from there. And we meet at the Brighton Marina outdoor multi-storey car park on the top floor. Great pictures we can get on there as well. It's normally a bit interchangeable on the weather. It's not always great, so I'm hoping for good weather this year. I'm going to try and book the weather for us. But all the cars parked together, and then we go off and we have some lunch together on the marina. So if you're interested in being part of that, it's a really good group of people. Lots of TT conversations going on. I'll be there. Lots of familiar faces from the TT community will be there as well. So I highly recommend coming along just before the kids go back to school on the 5th of September. Definitely see if you can make that. Be good. Hello, Jeff. How you doing? Just been talking about the Castle meet before you've jumped on. Will info be posted about this? Which watch is that one, Phil? Is that the Brighton, the London to Brighton meet? If that is the meet that you'll want to talk about, Yes, I will put some information on the channel. It's one that I've organised every year for the last 5 years. Include well, this will be the fifth instalment of it. And yeah, it'd be great to have you along for that. It's a really good day out. Actually, we have a really good group of TTs that meet up, and it's a good. It's just a really great day out. So yeah, it'd be great to have you along for that. Claire's put yellow circle has cut triangle has come on. Claire, that could be a multitude of things on your car. You do need to get the it's normally your traction control light is a problem, but it could be a multitude of things causing it. It could be something as simple as an ABS sensor. It could be a problem with your Haldex. It could be a multitude of things. So the best way to get the answer to it is get a code reader, get it plugged into the car, and read the codes off the car, and hopefully that'll give you an insight into what the problem is. Most garages will have a diagnostics tool they can plug in. I know you've had some problems with your particular garage by the sound of things, but you can pick up those code readers quite cheap. I'm just looking around for one in my garage I can pick up. I've got my unfortunately most things are in the car still from going to France, all my code readers, but obviously that the top done car pal that I gave away on the channel a few weeks ago, that is a great tool to use to diagnose your problems. You plug it in just under your dash by your right hand knee, just under but where you pull the bonnet release, there's a little slot to plug your OBD2 reader into. Pair it with your phone, you can get all your codes onto your phone and see what's going on. So I definitely recommend, even if it's not the car power one, there are even cheaper ones on Amazon for about £10 you can pick up now that pair with your phone, and you can read the problems onto your phone. If you take it to the garage, it's going to be between £50 and £100 to have your car read nowadays. It's just crazy money, but it's good to have that information. Like, you can go to the garage armed with the problem, and you can say, this is what I'm finding with the car. Can you please diagnose it and help me? And then you can give them the extra information. So I'd recommend doing that. Andy, do you have a video for removing my clock spring, my yellow circle light with the triangle? Yeah, it's not necessarily a clock spring that it could be, but it's not necessarily that. The only way to diagnose what it is, Claire, is to get it plugged in. So before you start taking stuff out of the car, I'd definitely get it checked. Steve Craddock has said, how did you get on with the game at the weekend? Yeah, not so great, Steve, actually. We lost 7-1 yesterday. We got absolute hiding up in Milton Keynes, which was not great. But there's still the away or the home leg for us to come in a few weeks, where we'll be, I think, the 28th of July. I think it is 20th of July. Sure, it's around then, which will be the away leg for us, or the home leg for us when Milton Keynes come to us. So hopefully we can rattle out the goals past them. Normally the games against Milton Keynes end in a draw, believe it or not. I have done the last few years. So yeah, it's quite disappointing to let that many in. Anyway, we'll move on. Rob Moore, what do you think about replacement brake and clutch lines? Stock OEM versus stainless steel braided with PTFE in a core. If you can get OEM stuff, then you're doing quite well, because it's really hard to get hold of a lot of that. I mean, Mark might be a comment on that to see if you can get hold of a lot of that OEM. I'm not sure if you can. I'm just going back all these quite. So Mark had said he had 4 sets of roof bars recently. Sold a set on eBay for £625. Wow, that is nuts money. The good condition ones are fetching good money. That is crazy money for a set of roof bars. See, Claire's asking you a question there, but do you have a pipe from the inlet manifold to the crankcase breather for a 150 Roadster? Is that not the pipe I replaced on recently? I think it's not the pipe I replaced on the Quattro Sport. I got that from was it Croatia Motorsport? I think I got it from. But guys, if you can let us know some of these answer these questions. The question about the braided lines. What do people think? OEM lines or braided lines? Steve Chesham said, I think the black hardtops will sell for more than different colour ones, as black will go with any colour. Yeah, I remember you saying that on Saturday, actually. I guess that's why we got a good deal on the green roof from Audi Lee in Blackburn. Possibly, yeah, because people are going to want to change the colour of that, aren't they? I'm just going back through the comments. So just don't want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Be quite interested in the London to Brighton Best Get the Car Ready. Carl, absolutely. It's a great event. For those of you that haven't done it before, I highly recommend it. Bit late to the chat. Was just watching the end of the footy match. Was really pleased with the Saturday's meet. Yeah, it was brilliant. We've talked about it quite a bit actually, and talked about the cars on display as well, Jeff, and also your great tribute to Mick as well, and presenting with a present was really quite nice to see. It was great to see Mick back out there, wasn't it, as well? It was always good to see him. Lee really wanted to go to Brighton, but I'd already booked a 3-day tour of Yorkshire with the Mini Club. It's not a problem, Vanessa. You can't come to everything. We appreciate all you do in attending anyway. So yeah, you've got two cars there. You've got to balance the love between them. So we get that. I promise Lee we will do it next year with you. Yeah, absolutely. Please do come for Quattrophenia 6 next year. Rod Gossett, hello Andy, hello Rod. How are you doing? Good to have you along tonight. Claire, I've recently got a lovely condition black 150 into brake. There you go. So Claire, Mark might have the parts that you need for the car. So yes, there you go. Always good. That's what I love about Monday nights is it gives so many of you the opportunity to talk to people on here, either for advice, for questions, for parts. It brings everyone together. It gives everyone a chance to speak about their cars and what they may have going on. So yeah, that's always great to see so many members contributing to the chat as well. Obviously, members are in there in a green. So guys, if you're not already a channel member and you want to support the channel, then please do click the little join link down below. It really does help the channel keep going and allows me to invest in some technology so I can bring these Monday lives to you as well. So obviously I've got the gimbal that we use. It's great because then I can walk around the car, I can keep talking to you, and I can carry on at work, and I haven't got my back to you. Someone did point out to me that the live video from Saturday. So if you were joining us from somewhere other than the actual show itself, and you were joining on the feed, apologies if the sound was bad, but the microphones weren't working. So every time I turned the phone away from me and towards the car, the road noise going past was interfering with the audio. So apologies about that, but I figured it's best to leave the video up there for you to look at the cars, not just to listen to what I'm talking about. So at least you can still see the video. You can hear most of the audio, but now and again it cuts in and out because of that. Obviously, because I'm on here tonight, if I put my back to you like that, you can hear me perfectly because I've got these mics on tonight, which are the ones that were not charged on Saturday. So hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. And if I'm ever breaking up, you can't hear me, please put in the chat that you can't hear me, guys, as well. But again, if you want to support the channel, click the join link down below. There's lots of member benefits to being part of that as well. And of course, for the oh wow, that's amazing, Mark. That's absolutely amazing. I know I do put a lot of things away, but that has blown me away that you want to donate £100 to the channel. That's amazing. I'll drop you a message offline actually, Mark. But you can always PayPal me friends and family if you want to do it that way, Mark. My email address is Andy_charger@hotmail.com, so you can PayPal it to there. But Mark, that's absolutely amazing support for the channel. Thank you so much. I would that really will help. I do always try and send as many people your way for help not because I've got any skin in the game, but I know the great service you do, the great parts you've supplied me over the years as well. Obviously, the brakes that are on this car are a great example, and of course the subframe on the blue car that we had all those years ago, where no one else could help me. I reached out to so many people because I had a subframe and it rotted through, and I was driving to Germany in a car, and my mechanics have phoned me up telling me the car's failed the MOT. So I'm nowhere near a garage, nowhere near anywhere, and I got in touch with Mark and said, "Can you get me a subframe for the car?" "Yeah, no problem." Shipped me a subframe, and he shipped it to my mum's house. So my poor old mum, she had a big pallet turn up with a subframe on it, and people dropping off were a bit like, "Why does this old lady need a massive pallet like this with car parts on it?" But by doing that, I was able to get the car fixed and back on the road and save it for another day. Although I don't own the car anymore, I know the car is still out there and running. And of course, I've got one now on the shelf, all powder coated. So if this subframe goes on this car, it's not a problem. I've got one ready to go straight away. But Mark, massively appreciate the support you give me as well. And I'm more than happy to send people your way because you do top quality parts, guys. Definitely check out Mark Parts. Rod Gossett is saying, "I'm just about to replace my CV joints thanks to your videos. I feel like I can get it done myself. Bit nervous about it, to be honest, but like you, I'm learning." Do you know what, Rod? That's always great to hear about that, that people are looking to take on jobs, because the silver Roadster that you've seen me do the CV or the inner CV boot on, that was the very first job I'd undertaken on a car, which I class as a big boy's job. You know, it's not just changing the oil and changing the plugs. That was taking bits off the car I wasn't sure I could get back together. And by taking my time, and I would do a bit and I would stop because I didn't have the tool or didn't have the right part. I'd then have to stop and carry on going, wait for a part to turn up and carry on. So the actual process took about 3 weeks. I also had my bad bike accident as well during the filming of that. So the pausing of the video went for a bit. It did stop for a bit. But we got the car back on the road and never had a problem with that side of the car since, which is great. So you can do it, is what I'm saying. If you need to do these jobs on the car and you've seen my videos, if I can do these jobs, guys, you can do these jobs as well. It's not, you know, if I can do it, I just try it. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, well, I'll have to get some help from somewhere. But even the things like the oil pickup pipe, that to me was a big job. Unbolting the bottom of what I class as the bottom of the engine, taking the oil tray off and taking parts off that I can see are all like, you know, mechanical engine bits, and then thinking I'm going to seal it all back up and it's just going to work. And it's so satisfying when you do put it all back together and there's no leaks. You're taking your time, the parts work, and you've basically given that car the chance to carry on for a bit longer. And while we're talking about that car, I'm just going to scroll through the comments, guys, because I reckon I've missed loads. So I'm just going to go back. Steve, you know, I'll always support where possible. Mark is a legend, absolutely. Second that, Mark. There's a really generous donation. It is absolutely mad. No, mate, you're a huge asset to. I know. Yeah, well, thanks, gents. It's a small gesture to help along with any little bits Andy needs. Love these lives. Thank you, Mark. It's always great to have you along. And yeah, you guys make it worthwhile. And really, tonight's a bit of a special one because, as I've said in the title, it's week 26, right? So I've done this for half a year, every Monday without fail. Even when I was in France, I was doing the lives, as you probably know. And we're going to talk about my trip around France in a minute and the Roadster and how it got on and what I learned from that. So that'll be our next topic. But yeah, love the support and I love the way the community has really come together. I think the community for the TT, I don't know many car communities, but I know a few. And the TT car community, particularly the Mark 1 TT community, blows every other away. We are just such a friendly bunch. Everyone wants to help each other out. There's no like egos in it. It's just people helping each other out, giving friendly advice and keeping these amazing cars on the road. But talking of keeping these amazing cars on the road, as you know, 2 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago now, I set off on a journey to France in the Roadster, and I had handed over the booking of hotels to my good lady wife, as she was going to arrange where we were staying. She asked me the rough route, and we booked it, and she booked the places. So we didn't really have an awful lot of planning with regards to route. So I was planning the route a bit on the fly on a day-to-day basis. I knew roughly the sort of distances we wanted to cover, and we planned the hotels around that. So we set up with the Roadster on the Thursday morning at about 6:30, and we got ourselves down to Folkestone to get on the Eurotunnel. And the Eurotunnel terminal was full of Ferraris, Porsches, Lamborghinis. They're all going to Le Mans for the weekends. They were all going on the Thursday. Saw some amazing cars, and you probably see there's a video on my channel where I left my dash cam running in the car while we went out to get some breakfast. And there's all these amazing cars going past on the dash cam when I came back. So that was really quite cool to see what had been driving around. I had a Ferrari come past me in a tunnel heading just down from Calais, and he floored it. And the sound in the tunnel was just out of this world. It was absolutely mad. But before that, as we were at Folkestone, got in the car, started the engine up to move onto the train, and the traction control light that Claire was talking about came up on the dash. And I'm like, you're joking. It's throwing an engine management light straight. Wait, what? It's throwing a traction control light. So I plugged in my code reader into the car to scan it for errors. Nothing came up. And I was like, right, okay, I've got to now go and do a 2,000-mile trip in this car with a potential problem. But the good news was I turned the engine off. I turned it back on to get on the train, and it never came back. It didn't come back at all. In 2,000 miles, I didn't see the engine code again, which was fantastic. So I think it might have been a blip. I don't know why it did it, but it must have been a blip. But we drove on the train. We then drove to Rouen for 3 days with our family. We can spend 3 days in Rouen with our family, which we did. And that was the only day in 2 weeks that we had the roof of the car up, because the rest of the time it's been roasting hot, as it has been here. So we drove all the way to the south of France with the roof down in between 30 and 40-degree heat, no air conditioning, which is actually a bit of a blessing, because I think if we'd had air conditioning, we'd have had the roof up and then we'd have missed out on so many wonderful sights on the way down. But that Audi TT Mark 1 that's out there, it performed flawlessly for 2 weeks. I've talked about the traction control light error, which I never got to the bottom of. So one thing that it did do, I noticed, as we got further south and we got into more mountainous regions, we went through the massive Central on the way down, the temperature gauge started doing a few weird things. So I would be descending down a hill, and there's some quite long descents that you can get some great speed up on. So I was taking that again, coasting quite a bit. I'm not sure that's what you meant to do, but I was doing that. And I thought I'd give the engine a bit of a rest and just let some air flow through the car. Anyway, I noticed that the temperature gauge was dropping down from 90, and it got down to about 70. I'm thinking that's a bit strange. Anyway, so re-engaged the engine, sort of accelerated a bit more. And as the ground flattened out at the bottom, the temperature gauge came back to normal and stayed at 90. Well, that was a bit weird, but so I pulled over and I checked it anyway, made sure there was nothing obvious that was causing a problem. Didn't seem to be any problems, but the temperature gauge definitely fluctuated. Now, I think that is just the fact that it's the car's at an angle, as the only thing I can think of why that temperature gauge was playing up. It's all I can think of, because I don't know why it would have got cold. The only other thing it could have been where we were traveling downhill at fair speed. Maybe there was so much cold air blowing through the rad that it was cooling the water down. Maybe, I don't know. We're going to have a little pause there of my chat. So I just want to go through and see what Gareth's just said. I just got my car back from MOT, had the camshaft sensor done at 56 miles, and it's back on. My mate said it could be stretched cam belt. I reckon it's cam belt. I think you mean on that. So you had the camshaft sensor. Now that's the ones at the top, isn't it? On the I haven't got that bit to hand actually, but it's at the if it's a 1.8T, it's the bit that's bolted on the side at the top of the head there, where the camshafts are. So you've had that replaced. Did you use an OEM sensor? Did you buy it from Audi? Did you buy it from eBay? Let me know on that, Gareth, because if you bought an aftermarket sensor, that may be your problem. Because, as we always say, if you are buying parts such as sensors, electrical components for the car, always buy OEM, never buy aftermarket, because they all fail. Buy wrong, buy, what's the word? Well, you buy twice essentially, but it's essentially like measure twice, cut once. They say, don't they? Well, same with sensors. Buy an aftermarket one, you're going to buy it twice, because it's just going to be the wrong part. So let me know in the comments if that is a genuine sensor or not, because it could be the new sensor is a duff one. Anyway, back to my story. So the temperature gauge was causing a bit of a problem. Now, we drove through some serious heat down there with that Roadster. We were down in 40-degree heat. We were going through. I got some pictures of the dash. So Romy was leaning across, filming the gauges as we were driving along, and we had 40 degrees on the temperature gauge. Now, that car still performed flawlessly. It didn't ever go up past 90, so it was able to cool itself really well, which I was really pleased with. We didn't have any sort of issues with any engine management problem. No lights came on. I had no sort of fuel issues. I had no coil pack issues or spark plugs, no misfiring, nothing like that. It just ran perfectly. And I've put that car through its paces. I've been going up some serious mountains, and you'll see in the video the views that we've got from the mountains, because we were in some serious altitude. So hats off to the little Roadster. It's now on 88,000 miles. It was on 86 when we left. It's done 2,000 miles. The only slight thing it did do at one point, when we got to Gap, we woke up the next morning from Gap and drove on. We put the roof up overnight to make the car more secure. because obviously we don't want people fiddling in the car while we're out of it. Um, we put the roof down, and of course, as you put the roof down, you can put the wind deflector up. Well, the wind deflector wouldn't come up, and I was like, "What is going on with this?" I could hear the relays clicking, but no movement. I got out and I ran my finger down the whole of the wind deflector to make sure it wasn't jammed or glued up. Nothing. Anyway, we drove on for a bit, and every sort of couple of minutes, I was trying it, desperately trying it, and eventually, it just came back up, and it's carried on working perfectly ever since. So I'm not sure what that was doing. It was just having a bit of a funny moment again. The Merlin dropped the temperature gauge coming back from Belgium and did for a couple of weeks, and then it seemed to sort itself out. That's great to know, Andy. So I think it might be just a bit of a maybe a bit of a blip. And I'm thinking, do I replace that thermostat or you replace it, you run the risk of other things, don't you? It's not a problem at the moment, I don't think, that thermostat. I reckon it was just fed up with heading home. Yeah, I think that's probably was. Well, mine wasn't heading. Oh, yeah. Well, Andy's might have been fed up heading home, but mine was occurring as I was driving south as well. So it was as I was going through the mountains. But again, um, that was the only issues that we had. Now, things that I've learnt that I would take in the roads the next time. I'm going to get the air conditioning fixed, but I would say if you're doing that journey and if you've got a roadster and a coupe, um, and you can pack light, I would take the roadster. I really would, because the views out of the roof with that roof down are just out of this world. They really are. You'll enjoy it in the coupe as well, and with the coupe, obviously you've got more storage space for luggage. But we did it 2 weeks in the roadster, and Romy doesn't pack light anyway. But spares wise, what did I take spares wise? Well, luckily I didn't need them. But spares wise, I took spare coil packs. I took spare plugs. I took a fuel filter. I took a lot of tools. I took a selection of cable ties recommended by Jeff, because he always says have take cable ties with you. I didn't take a brake pressure switch though. Maybe temp sensor and not thermostat. Uh, is that I thought, is it the thermostat that maybe controls? Okay, yeah. So maybe the temperature sensor then maybe needs to get looked at. Yeah. Um, Gareth put true. I think it was from Auto Parts. It had Bosch written on. Yeah, I'd always I would always unless it comes from a reputable company. If it comes off eBay, there's a lot of fake parts. I think Chris did a video on fake parts, didn't he? Fake spark plugs. So they might be badged as Bosch or whatever, but it doesn't mean they're genuine. So definitely make sure you get it from the right place. Nuggy the Noggin. Steve Craddock has just said maybe to do with how high up it was, thinner air, maybe. Yeah, Steve, it could have been a lot of things on that, why it was happening. Have you experienced the interior light coming on randomly as you were driving? I had this on 2 of my TTs. Once locked, it seems to reset it for a period. Uh, Interior light coming on, is that in a coupe or a roadster? I would suggest that there's some sort of like micro switch, the door, a door switch, the sensor that knows the door's shut might be causing a problem, and that thinks the door's open somewhere. It could be a short somewhere, could be that one. Yeah, so that might be something to check. Um, but yeah, so things to for the TT to, so I mentioned the spare parts. Something like there. Did I take anything? I took a spare regulator off an alternator. I unbolted the regulator off the other alternator I've got on the shelf. Didn't have space to take an alternator, but that's the bit that normally fails. So I had that in the car in case I needed to do a regulator at the side of the road. I'd do an alternator at the side of the road because I thought if I get all the way down there, I took all the relays from under the dash from the coupe as well that I had out the breaker. So the whole range of fuses, relays for the car, that if it had a problem, it would hopefully we could get out of trouble. Anyway, we didn't have any problems, so I was really lucky. And every mile I got closer to home, I was like thinking, yes, please, let's just make it all the way home. And it's just been amazing. It's such a great car to drive. I was having a chat with Carl Stocks actually when I got back about cars, and because he had a really bad experience having to be towed back from Reims or Reims back to Calais and then be relayed back to the UK, and it cost about 2 grand. So it was a lot of money. but that was in his Infinity, and he said, TTs are the most reliable car he's ever owned, which I was quite surprised by. But that's a good statement by Carl. He thinks that if those are the cars that you want to own and that to do these journeys in, then they're cheap as chips. And I said to not to Kyle, but to Carl Foreman, who was at the meet. It was great to see you on Saturday, buddy. If you're out there, was if I had broken down in France, I was going to leave the car at the side of the road because I was just thinking it's just not worth trying to recover it. But Carl said, "Mate, don't do that. Get it back however you get it back. You'll regret it." And he's right. I said to Ron when we were out there, I can't leave it behind now. I couldn't leave the car behind. I'd have to bring it back. But again, things that I didn't realise I needed, things I knew I needed that I had with me. If you're going to do this with me next year, a SANEF tag for your tolls. So we're going to be on the auto routes. We are going to be going down toll roads. You can do it off toll roads and make it free, but then if you factor in the additional fuel you'll need to do it, change of gears a lot more frequently, a lot more fuel you're going to be burning. It probably balances itself out, I think, on a long journey and the time it takes. You can't buy time, don't forget, guys. But one way you can buy time is having a SANEF tag, because a SANEF tag is a little, can't see it in my car, but it sits behind the mirror on my Roadster. And what it allows me to do is, as I approach the tolls, I slow down to 30 kilometers an hour. I get in the toll lane, and as I drive through, I hear a beep, and the toll and the barriers come up. And we were sort of trying to time how much time we were saving per toll between us and a car that would not be able to do that. And I think it saves over a minute of time, because it's not only the time you're stationary when you're at the tolls, but it's the deceleration and the extra fuel you must be using as well to brake, to come down, to stop, and to get going again, the acceleration. That the difference is I slow down, if we're both slowing down, I don't slow down as much, but the other car comes to stop and I accelerate away, I'm at least a minute down the road before that car's anywhere near caught up with me. So I definitely think the SANEF tag's worth having over the journey. I think it'd save a lot of money. Stephen Harper and the Stephen Harper channel camera crew are all on. How you doing tonight, Stephen? I have watched your video. Bit sad about your TT, buddy, and all the work you've gone through trying to get it solved. I don't want to lose you from the community, so whatever we need to do to get you running again. Maybe with Mark Stanley being on tonight and being an engine guy, can Mark sort you out an engine to Ireland somehow? Can we get that resolved to keep Stephen's TT on the road? The road surfaces, Claire, were unbelievable. They were absolutely fantastic. The auto routes are amazing. Had a bit of traffic here and there, which was unusual, down the south. So when we were driving around towards San Rafael over that last bit, is it Marseille? Is it we were going through? Marseille was quite busy. Going past the football ground was quite cool. Went past a lot of football grounds, actually. Went past his niece's football ground as we went to Monaco, which was great to see as well. You go right round it on the auto route. But yeah, the roads were great quality. I think they're probably some of the best roads I've driven. What else have we got? I missed here. Just going to go through. Just going back to some of the comments, guys. So I've been rabbiting on, haven't I? But Mark says we sell a lot of interior lights here. Would say that's quite common. Oh, there you go. So Mark's come up with that. I've had the same thing on acceleration. Phil's put, what spark plugs do you use on the 3.2? As my NXT next oil change is going to do plugs also. I've not done plugs on the 3.2. Done plugs on the 225, which are these ones. This is what I put in. I put Bosch plugs in the Roadster, and they was bang on. I say I put them in. I put one in, didn't I? Because I took three with me, because I started taking the connectors apart, and I think, well, I don't want to force these, so I left it until I got back. So I didn't do any damage to it. But I've got those to go in. With light coming on, yeah, maybe, yeah. Jeff Noggy's put in the coupe, yeah. Just got quoted 2,400 to replace the Sonicand OEM roof fabric and glass. Expensive, wow. Claire, you get a new roof cheaper than that. You get a replacement roof for about £1,200 fitted for a new roof. So I think you need to start shopping around a bit, Claire. It's the best advice I can give you, because I think the garage you go to are trying to pull your pants down all the time. I think it's probably the best advice I can give you. Um, uh, yeah, send me an engine. I'll send you guineas. That's a great idea. Northern or southern? Claire, where do you get your quotes from? I think they've been. Yeah, yeah, Steve. I think Steve's very right over that. Engine on. Did you try JD recovery? No, it's crazy. But if I think it's a number and treble it. No, Stephen Harper 225 or V6 is 225. We know that's 225. Bam. So guys, I think definitely. I think that'd be a nice little video, guys. If you can come up with a little collaboration there between Mark and Steve, if you can come up with an engine, fit it, and I think that's a great advert for both of you. Can't see why we couldn't sort an engine for you, mate. Look at that. Mark is such an absolute legend. If you can sort that out for Steve, that'd be amazing. And yeah, great to have you along, Steve. Anyway, and say if you guys, if you don't already know about Stephen's channel, please check out Stephen Harper VW because he has a great TT channel as well over in Ireland. Does some great content. Check it out. Steve, I will send you a DM now. There you go. You guys are just like another TT community success story is unfolding in front of our very eyes, I'd say right now. Hello, I'm a new owner and I got the 225 Quattro and I'm watching your videos. Thank you very much, Chris, for that. Appreciate you doing that. You are very helpful. We appreciate your content. Thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate your comments there. And guys, of course, if you are not already, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're joining me for the first time tonight. And if you're not already a member, you want to become a member and support me, you can click that join link down below and support the channel also. And of course, if you think, I don't want to commit to a membership, but I want to buy Andy a coffee, there's also a little button down there where you can buy me a super thanks as well for the channel. And all the money that comes into the channel, again, it gets pumped back into what we do right here. And that is obviously not buying a gimbal for the phone. And one thing I do need to do at some point is I need to buy myself a decent camera for doing vlogging and stuff and filming cars now, because I'm always, you probably noticed me at events, I don't tend to use my GoPro as much nowadays. It's getting a bit old, it's not great, so I'm tending to use my phone a lot more, my old phone. I've only got an old iPhone 13 that I use for doing a lot of the filming, which is my daughter's. I once got a big crack down the screen as well. Poor old me, poor me. Just come back from 2 weeks in France, because that's why I have to buy an old phone. And but yeah, so but I'm going to buy a decent camera, I think. So I think what I'll try and do is all the money that comes into the channel for we'll build it up, and then we'll buy ourselves an Andycharger camera, so that will be dedicated to all you guys that support the channel. So really appreciate all the help you do. Talking about body kits, well, we're not, but we were talking about earlier on with that car I saw. Can I ask you guys, what is your favourite body kit on a car? There are a few different ones for the TT. There's the Carrot Tear kit. I don't know if you've seen that one, guys, but that's an unusual body kit. Don't see so many of those. You've got the Riga body kit, which I think is possibly my favourite. You've got the Abs body kit that comes from the factory. And you've also got Claire. Thank you so much for your kind donation. You're always a strong supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. There's also the Votex kit that came from the factory. So, guys, put in the chat now, what is your favourite body kit for the Audi TT Mark 1? And the reason I'm touching on that is I don't know if you saw the car from my video that came out on Sunday, just yesterday, and it was the cartoon car. It's a cell style. We went to Ypres just a couple of months ago, and it really attracted a lot of interest. People saw this car and it really turned heads. So it's like I suppose almost like a Porsche Miami Blue is the best colour. I think the guy called it Tiffany Blue. So it's owned by a guy called Cook. I definitely recommend checking out the video, guys, if you've not seen it. And he designed the artist work for the car, and then he engaged with a guy to come and custom paint it. So it's basically all done by hand. It looks like a wrap, but it's actually paint and it's all lacquered up. It looks amazing. It's just so clever how it's been done. But that's got a really cool body kit on it as well. So check him out if you've not seen his video. It's a really, really quite cool car. But be interested in what people think. So Steve Chesham has put red ABT narrow body look good, but I prefer my Votex one I had. Yeah, I do remember though that when you took the the skirts or the side skirts of the car, once it had that Votex kit, there was some serious rot underneath that, if I remember rightly. It looked quite tired once the kit had come off. So that's the thing with fitting body kits, guys. If you are fitting body kits on the car, you are going to need to or be prepared for some damage. One other thing that I'm going to grab that turned up just a few days ago, and I want to talk about. Oh, that was a different car, was it? Oh, right, you're right, Steve. It was. It was that. Was that a? Was that like an Arctic blue car you had that had the issue with the skirts? Pretty sure it was. It's not Arctic. What do they call it? It's not Arctic. It's that silvery blue colour. I call it Arctic, but it's not. Shout out in the comments what the colour is. But I want to show you something else that I've got for this car. Now, you know that this car behind me is, let's call it OEM Plus, because it's got reversing sensors. It has got coffee cup holders. It's got carbon fibre door grabs. It's got a Apple CarPlay sound system in it as well. So it's a little bit OEM Plus. Well, I've got the perfect OEM Plus features for this car. So I'm just going to jump off camera for a sec, grab them from over here, and I'm going to show you these. Look at these. These little bad boys are going to be going on the Papaya. Now, these are spats, and these are not genuine original spats. These have been 3D printed by Paul Cliff and painted by Paul Cliff. And those of you that don't glacier, that's the one, Marcus. Thank you for that, Marcus. Appreciate that, buddy. These have been painted by Paul Cliff. Now, if you've seen some of his work online, you will know. Oh, what's the phone going? The phone's having a funny turn then. Oh, right. The phone's just decided to have a funny fit, so I'm going to take it off the gimbal. There you go. Right. So, talking about these. So these are the spats that Paul supplied. Now, Paul also does not only spats, but he does other bits, other spraying for cars, and his work is second to none. I can't tell you how good these look, and the color match is absolutely perfect on the car. They really are great. He's also been doing car lenses as well, the headlight lenses. They also look amazing. So I think that we've definitely got someone in the trade now that's doing some great features of the car. He's done a set of like angel eye lights for the TT as well. And he likes to do a bit of fiddling and wiring. So some of the work he's doing is amazing. I was speaking to Carl Foreman about him at the weekend because I know he's done some work for Carl as well. So, guys, if you're interested in a set of spats like this for your car in any colour, I highly recommend getting in touch with Paul Cliff. You can find him on the Facebook pages. I can't recommend how good these are and how good they're going to look on my car when I fit them. OEM Plus, the car is going to become. I'm just going to try and put these down without scratching them. And then what I'm also going to do, I'll put them over there. I'm just going to unpeel this off here. Just like that. And we're going to go mobile for a minute because I thought we'd just have a little walk around the car. So this is where the spats are going to fit right here on this wheel arch. So there's actually a couple of bolts on the inside of the wheel there. But basically what they will do is you unbolt those two Torx bits and then you bolt them back and you bolt the spats into it. And you put some double-sided tape on the spats as well. And that will allow you to attach them to the car without any problems. Just going to grab my other stand now that we've gone mobile, because there's also a second stand. In fact, what we could probably do is, should we have a look at the Roadster? Let's have a look at the Roadster. We can probably see that because it's just outside. We'll go mobile. We'll go rogue. So I'll put the door up. It says. And the good thing about the door is the door opens automatically, but it doesn't come down automatically. It actually, you have to hold the button, but I can put it up automatically, which is pretty cool. I know someone was asking about that. Who's that sent me £5? Is that you, Jeff Bedford? Thank you so much, Jeff. You're always a kind supporter of the channel, aren't you? So thank you very much, buddy. Love that you sent that to me tonight. Thank you so much. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks again as well. So here we have it. Here is the Roadster. And hopefully the signal lasts as we come outside. But here it is in one piece, looking great. So obviously it's had on it So the hood is in one piece, which is always good. It's all now working again. It hasn't had a proper clean. I took it to the show on Saturday, but it's not attached to give it a clean in the on the Eurotunnel as well to make sure it was clean-ish on the journey. Noggy's put Paul did my roof rail. Yeah, Matt, I know we spoke about this Saturday. I'll be looking forward to seeing those fitted to the car. But yeah, so there it is. Still plenty of tread left on those tyres. Those are the hand-cooked tyres that I put on the wheels before we went away. There's the breaker in the corner of the garden still as well. That's still looking quite sorry for itself. But we just get in the car for a sec. It's a bit messy in here because it's not really been used since. But one thing I'll recommend as well to have, if I move around, this has been a godsend to me. So this is my dash cam. This is my DD-Pi Z90 dash cam. I know that there's some different model ones for DD-Pi, but if you look at most of the footage that you're going to see, well, the footage that you've seen on the Monaco video, the in-car footage has all come from that camera. So, oh, I can hear someone's phone ringing. It's not me though. But anyway, this camera is an absolute work of art. It's 5.2K quality, so it's better than 4K. And the footage is immense in size. That's the trouble. But if you want to get good quality footage of a dash cam for if you have any accidents or if you want just that peace of mind for driving, absolutely out of this world. It's better than 4K. It's so clear. And that footage of driving around Monaco has all come from that camera. And in fact, I've rendered it down in the footage to 4K from 5K, so it's even better in the flesh, if you can imagine. So you're losing me slightly. Right, okay, I'm going to go back in the house. I don't want to lose the signal. Hopefully, we're not going to lose completely. We're going to go back in. So anyway, that's the road. So that's the camera I wanted to show you and talk about. So guys, if you're interested in a DD-Pi camera, I can put you in touch with the guys. Look them up. They do some really good quality products. There's a link actually on I think on my Amazon. I've got a DD-Pi camera review video, which is the one down from that, but that's also 4K. And if you check that one out, check out the video. That's definitely one to pick up, because I think if you want some really good quality video footage of your car, or you want that peace of mind, definitely one to have. I'm just going to reach down here and pick up my stand, and let's rearrange this so that we can get this all back together. Put you down on here. Like that, guys. Hopefully you can still hear me all right. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you can still hear me. Pretty sure you must be able to. See some comments coming in as well, so that's always a good sign. Let's put that back together. There we go. Now we're all reassembled and sitting back on the bonnet. Right, let's have a little look. Look to your right, Andy. Do you think those screws on the roof struts can be loosened to fix my 3mm gap? Oh, sorry, Claire, I missed that when we were out there, and I don't want to go back out in case I lose the footage. So, but I'll have a look on. I'll take a look at the screws you mean. There is some adjustment you can put into that. Just loosen some screws off. You can give it things a little bit of a rejig around on the hood. Obviously, when I fitted, that's the hood that I fitted. Don't forget, because the old hood got broken. But yeah, that's you can do that. Having a bit of a fiddle around and some loosening off, you can do that. Just going to go back through, see if there's any other comments I've missed. Don't think there are. So what other events have we got coming up? So, I saw an event that took place in East Anglia. So Dave Westrup did an event, Pip. I think it was called it. He called it Pip Stop or something? His event this week had a bit like Springfest. I think he had an event in his garden. Looked really cool actually. He's got a nice garden up in East Anglia. I think he had a good turnout of cars. Obviously, great weather at the moment, so that really does help, doesn't it? So, yeah, I think we've talked about the air conditioning, haven't we, tonight? So I won't need to go back over that. We've talked about the road trip, although that was one of the things I was going to talk about. Non-car things that I needed for the road trip that we realised after we got out there that we needed. Because we decided to sort of picnic a little bit, we thought we buy ourselves a cutlery set, which is what we did. We bought some cutlery from Lidl that we found. So I would take a little picnic hamper set in. There's a compartment in the Roadster that sits behind the passenger seat that has got the CD changer in it. Well, above that CD changer, you could get two little small plates in there, all your cutlery in there as well, and maybe a couple of small glasses, plastic glasses. So I think you could set that up as a little like picnic area. So if you stop anywhere, you've got that to hand, because we had to go and buy it, and of course it's more bulk to bring around. So I definitely recommend putting a little picnic set in. In fact, we've said since we've come back, there's such good fun what we did when we were out there. One evening a week, we're going to just pack the Roadster up and take it out for the evening, just going to have some dinner somewhere. It's going to find somewhere, winch up and have some dinner. So come back with some great ideas for that. And of course, it's more TT adventures, isn't it, as well? So lots of good things for the Roadster. But guys, have you? There seems to be a few things for sale at the moment. A few cars for sale. Obviously, there's the car that Bryn talked about a couple of weeks ago that appeared, wasn't it, on Facebook? Well, that's come right down in price. Still don't think that car is sold. But have you seen any bargains out there? So I was wanting to ask as well, because I'm always looking for a bargain TT. So I think, well, what can I do now? I've got my Papaya, which I love. Not going to get rid of that, and I've got my Roadster. But if you can think of a bargain TT that's cheap TT project that maybe we can take on and maybe either get it going again, or if it's not too far gone, or if we can do a few jobs on it, maybe we could do it, and maybe someone could drive it to the south of France next year if we got it going well enough. Who knows? But one thing I would say, if you are coming to the south of France next year with us on that road trip, is make sure you have got plenty of spares with you, and you've also got the car well serviced. What we don't want to be doing is having to, fix cars at the side of the road. So you do need to make sure your car runs quite well to do it. Breakdown cover, because of the age of the cars, is pretty non-existent in Europe, so you are pretty much on your own, down to us having spares. I think between the cars we probably carry, which helped me out this time, because obviously I had to carry everything last time, but having a set of spares of most things with us, between us all, we could probably get most things out of trouble, because you never know what's going to happen, do you? So I definitely think that's worth doing. But all the normal jobs I would recommend that you do before we go, things such as the pickup pipe, definitely make sure that's done. An oil and filter change on the car as well, make sure that's done. I did that on the road before we went away, and I filled it up with oil, and it was spot on the line. I've done 2,000 miles in that car, and I thought, now it's back, let's check the oil, and it's spot on the line. So it burnt no oil. And the oil still looks pretty clean actually as well. It's a little bit discoloured, but it's looking pretty good. Hello, Steve Cow. How you doing, buddy? Welcome along. Don't forget to change the fuel filter. Do you know what, Steve? Didn't change the fuel filter on it. I took one with me in case I needed to change it, but I got a bit scared knowing about all the horror stories about people trying to change a fuel filter and breaking either the nipples off it or the elbows. And I thought, if I do that and I've got to take the fuel tank out to get that changed, I didn't want to take a risk. So I left it alone. I took it with me. And if the fuel filter caused a problem out there, I would have had to have done it. But I had it with me to change. Still got it in the car waiting to go. We'll do it for next year, though. But the only thing I suppose that I really did notice is in the hot weather, the turbo was non-existent. There was no acceleration out of it. It was just too hot for the car. Maybe if you've got a front mount intercooler on it, maybe have a bit more acceleration with colder air, particularly on that mountain. When you're coming down that mountain, cold air might be a bit better. But yeah, but didn't have much of acceleration out of the car. Just going to go back through. Maybe Marden could be the home of the next TT specialist in Kent. No, I don't think so, Marcus. I'm not any way, shape, or form an expert. I only fix things by taking them apart and learning how they work, really. So I'm no expert for fixing stuff, but obviously I'll pass on my knowledge that I can, and that's why these Monday nights are so good for everyone, aren't they? Because everyone can bounce ideas off each other, ask questions, and hopefully help each other out. So we seem to be getting some good answers tonight. Hopefully, we've got some good collaborations there with Steve Harper and Mark Stanley as well. Mark hopefully can help out Stephen with his engine and keep not only the TT going, but Stephen's TT channel would be You know, we don't want to lose these people from the community, guys. We all help each other out, and we want to make sure we all support each other, particularly the YouTube side of it, because as we know, we've lost obviously Dom from the YouTube community this year because he's obviously not doing his Mark Ones anymore. Bryn's much more active nowadays, which is great to have Bryn back. And he's also working on TTs again privately, which is great for people. Highly recommend if you are in the Midlands area and you need a TT specialist, Bryn is your man. He is the man to go to. Funny enough, I had dinner last night with Simon Siggetts. If those of you know Simon, he's got a Quattro Sport as he lives in Milton Keynes. So we met for dinner last night and chewed the cud. And I know he's had Bryn doing some work for him recently as well. So great to hear that, you know, Bryn's back actively working. Don't forget, Bryn will be doing his Tuesday night show tomorrow night, I'm sure. I think it's 7:45. It's a little bit later than my one, but it'll be live at 7:45. The last couple of weeks I've been a bit sort of stuffed to watch because I've been either driving or celebrating my wedding anniversary, which is the first week. So that was 2 weeks ago tomorrow. But I'll be tuning in tomorrow night and joining the conversation. So I hope you'll all be on too. Keith, thank you very much for your €5 donation. That's very kind of you, sir. That is most appreciated. Thank you so much for all your super thanks, guys, that you send through. Everything that you donate obviously goes to keeping the channel going and bringing you more great content. I thought we'd also talk tonight, which we've not started on yet, but we're going to talk about some of the jobs that I've got coming up on the cars, because there are a few things, a few niggles with the Roadster that I do want to get sorted out. And the first one was when I was driving down to France, I did notice there was a lot of like almost like not creaking noises, but clonking noises. And I thought, is that something loose in the boot somewhere? Well, I don't think it was because the boot was packed out with stuff. Is it something under the engine bay that's lumping around somewhere? I don't know. I think it's probably got either worn drop links or it's got something suspension based that's worn out. Maybe the shocks are worn out on it. Maybe the top mounts are worn out on it. There's definitely some noise. So we're going to do some investigation. And I think we'll use that as a bit of this is how you investigate noises from your suspension. And we'll work our way around it and try and work out how we can establish what's worn out. We'll do that and we'll work our way around the car. So Claire, hopefully that can help you out as well. And those of you that are interested in those sort of things, we'll work through it and we'll get the car sorted. Now, we also know that the Haldex on the Roadster doesn't function either. So it did function when I first had the car, but then of course I had the issue where I told the story on the weekend where I've obviously done a video on changing the Haldex oil and filter, but in my haste I left the washer off and I over tightened the bolt, and I need to have the bolt into the Haldex helicoiled so it would actually fit back in, and leak some oil. It's got oil in it, it's got a filter in it, it still doesn't work. I've checked the earth strap, that's all good. It's the original earth strap and it's intact, there's no breaks in it, looks quite robust. Although someone did say it could be the contacts have worn and you need to check the contacts on it, but I will do that. But it's definitely not kicking in. Now, talking to Mark Stanley, Mark kindly sent me a whole rear end, or near enough. He sent me the rear diff and the Haldex unit for a Mark 1 225. So I have that here on a pallet still, Mark. He sent it to me a couple of years ago, and I am going to fit that, I think, to the TT. So that's the job I've got for the winter, I think. We'll take the Roadster off the road this winter, I think, and we'll do all these jobs ready for next year, so that when we go back to France next year on a road trip, we're going to take the Roadster again and do those miles. I don't want to put the miles on the Papaya, even though the Papaya is not far off the mileage. The Papaya's on 68,000 miles. But again, I don't want to put the miles on it. And again, it's got a tin top, hasn't it? So we won't be able to see those beautiful mountains that we drive through. So we're definitely going to take the Roadster once more next year, and it's more fun. The Roadster's definitely more fun in the open air in the warm weather. Of course, if it's raining, not so much fun, but it was definitely really good fun this year. So yeah, so I'm going to do that in the car. I've still got bits to remove from the black breaker. I want to do some videos on removing the side skirts on it to show you how you remove the side trims off the car. I'm also going to take the dash out of the car. I'm going to use it maybe to look at the blend door as well, how I access the blend door on a breaker, because obviously while I've got it there, take it apart, might be worth taking apart so you don't break it when you do it on your actual car. Obviously I took the fuel filter off the car, off the breaker, to see how easy it was to take off on my Roadster before I did it. How do you test the Haldex if it's working or not? Because if it's an open diff, the best way I've found to test if your Haldex is working is I set my my camera up as on a very fast frame rate at the side of the car, and took a side profile of the car on a video, and I then drove my car, accelerated very hard, and see if I could spin the wheels. Now, if your Haldex is working, you shouldn't cause any wheel spin whatsoever, really, on a 225. You should just drive. Well, you can see the wheels spinning. You can see the wheels not spinning. The front wheels spin, and the back wheels aren't even like trying to do anything. They're just rolling, so they're not helping whatsoever. Just rolling back from the comments. So Martin, after missing the Harlequin TT that was for sale a while back, I'm very tempted to attack on this year. Would someone drive it to France next year if I did? Mark, I'm sure if you wanted someone to drive the car for you, I'm sure we could arrange it. I work every weekend, so I wouldn't be able to drive it myself. Do you know what, Mark? If you could arrange to let's talk about it, because what would be great to do. I'm sure not everyone's going to be driving down in a TT in a pair, so I'm sure there might be some spare seats somewhere. So even if we could get you down there, maybe we could fly you down to Nice, because Nice is literally 10 miles away from Monaco. Maybe we could get you to, if you work every weekend, maybe we could fly you down there for 3 days or something like that, Monday to Wednesday, and you could come and be part of that and maybe drive the Harlequin TT there. We'll get someone to take it down there for you, who would also drive it back, but maybe you could then get to do a lap of Monaco in it. Maybe we could do something like that. Maybe let's have a chat. Let's see how we can. Let's see what we can do. I think we could pull some ideas together on that. I think put it in a gravelly lay-by and give it full send. Shouldn't be any fronts. Yeah, that's exactly right, Paul. That's exactly the best way to test it on a road. This is also something I would recommend you have if you have a Roadster. You know that that glass, the wind deflector behind your head. You can get these quite cheap. I've got mine on TikTok. But it's a stick-on mount that goes on the glass, and then it's got the magnetic mount that goes on the back of your phone. So you can put it behind your head, and it sort of projects past you. It records everything you see ahead of you, and it's got you in the footage as well. It's such a great camera angle. So I highly recommend one of these if you haven't got one as well. You can get some really good camera footage, and you can also stick it to your windscreen, and you can turn these things around, and you can almost use it as a camera as well, like a dash cam. So you can stick it on the window like that and look out your window if you've got a spare phone. Cheap way of getting a dash cam as well. So these are really quite cool little things. This is a really manoeuvrable one. And what I like about this over most of them is it's got this, you can hear that clicking. So it's actually a suction cup. So rather than just a stick-on thing, it actually locks itself right down. It's a really good quality one. But again, I've got it on my TikTok shop at the moment, so they're really good. Highly recommend getting hold of those. How does that attach? So Claire, what it does, if I show you, you can see that little tab there. So what you do is you stick it to the window, bosh, like that. And once it's on, it's like a suction cup. And then you just turn this dial and it sucks itself to the windscreen. So it's on rock solid. Now, what I've used this for, there's a few little videos about on it. I use this on my bodywork of my car on the outside. So I stick it to my door, lock it right down. Then I put my old phone against it like that, looking up at the wheels or looking back on the car. And I can drive along and get moving footage on the car. You can stick it on the bonnet and you can record yourself through the window. You can stick it on the boot lid and record yourself from behind. It's a really good little feature. And then when you're ready to remove it, what you do, you turn the dial the other way. It's like that. And this little tab, I just literally lift it off the bodywork and it comes away like that. Simple as that. And what normally happens with these little gadgets is this bit gets weak half the time due to the weight of the cars. but this is so stiff. It's a really good one. So this is what I used when I was in France. So it's done some fair miles. This one, it's done a really good job. But again, that in-car footage that you get projected through the windscreen that you see is all from that DD Pi dash cam I've got. It's out of this world. I don't think I used the GoPro once while I was away. It was all recorded on mobile phones or on that DD Pi dash cam. Wait till you see the footage of the mountains when we were driving past Mont Blanc through Chamonix. I mean, it'll blow your mind. The quality of it, the mountain roads I've driven have been unbelievable. It's such good. If you're you're like a driving car, you're a driver's person, you like a driver's car to go around the mountain roads, you'll love it, honestly. I mean, I don't need to convince any of you because I'm sure loads of you want to come along anyway. But if you do want to come along and you want the details, please get in touch with me at the channel and I'll share all of that with you. I don't do TikTok. Any other link for it? I'll have a look, Steve. I'll have a look and see how I can. I'm sure they must have them elsewhere. I'll try and send you a link to it. Drop me a message and I'll see what I can sort out. See if I can. Might even be able to get another one. I'll see if I can get another one from them. But they're I think they're only about a fiver. Might be wrong, but I'll have a look. Maybe they're about a tenner. I'll have to have a look on the link. But yeah, they're really good. So the cameras and stuff I've been using, so it's literally been phones and that dash cam. So anything you see on the video that will come out is that. How do we access your TikTok with that? Your shop about TikTok. TikTok shop. I think you have to access it through TikTok. You have to have TikTok to get to it. But I'll see if I'll send you guys maybe I'll put a link up and see if you can find one, and see if we can get it sorted. Glad the mustard came out of your hat, Steve. I'm glad about that. I'll see if I can get a link to it, Claire, and see if we can share that with you because there's some really good. I've got some really good products on there at the moment that I use. They're mainly car-related products, I have to say, that I put on there. If I get people send me quite a bit of stuff. A lot of it's a load of old toot. A lot of it is all right. So if it's good, I'll talk about it. If it's no good, I won't talk about it, or I'll say it's bad. But those dash cams, those DD Pi dash cams. I know Jeff Bedford, you've got one, so it'd be interesting to know if you've now got that fitted in your one, and if it's working well, because they're absolutely top notch dash cams. And even you might have seen my videos as well on the Apple CarPlay devices that bolt into the Fiestas. We fitted one of those in the Fiesta, and that's another great gadget from iDoing. Not that it fits the TT. I've asked, you know what? So iDoing have supplied me two devices, one for the Fiesta and one for the Persia that we used to have. Both worked brilliantly, and they messaged me again and said, "Can we do another video?" And I'm like, "Your products are great, but if you can make me a recessed Apple CarPlay device that will allow me to shut my TT flap, you would get thousands of people that want one of those because we all want a nice Apple CarPlay device that sits in the slot that allows us to close the flap over." And they said, "Oh, we don't make one of those, and development time takes quite a long time." I thought, well, that's down to you to sort out. If you want me to talk about your products and you're going to make something that's good for our TTs, then it might be worth your while. But I'll keep you posted, guys, if they decide they are going to do something like that, because it'd be really good to have an aftermarket TT Apple CarPlay radio that allows you to close that flap, wouldn't it? The only person I've seen that's truly done one with the TT flap closed is Robert, that came to Springfest from Holland. So he had taken a radio and he'd butchered a few bits off it to make it sit further back, and it allowed him to close the TT flap. He also put some extra USB in the car, which is something I'm going to do to the Roadster, funny enough. So the Roadster, when we go next time to France, one thing that it lacked was enough USB, really. We had two USBs in the car with our little FM Bluetooth transmitter. But one of those was powering the dash cams, and one of them was charging the phone at all times. We can only charge one phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run some cabling along the tunnel, along the center console, and I'm going to put some USB sockets at the back of that tunnel, at the back there, so we can get some USB sockets at the back there. I think it'd be quite cool. Still to fit it yet, mate. Just need a bit of help wiring it in, so to speak. Yeah, that's definitely something to do though, Jeff. Because I say that. Wait till you see the footage. I'll bring some footage if I haven't got the video out. I'll bring footage when we all go get together on the 11th and show you how quality it is on the actual camera. Because I don't think YouTube does it justice of how good quality it is. It's amazing. But I think YouTube will only do up to 4K. Because if I could get that 5.2K that it's doing, it's just out of this world. Anyway, would that suction cup work on the dash? It's stipple surface. No, Claire, that's one thing it doesn't do. I've tried that myself. It will only suck down onto the glass. It will suck onto the bodywork, but not all the bodywork. So if there's a bit too much of a curve in the bodywork, it won't suck on very well. You need to do it on as flat bodywork as possible. The bonnet's fine, the doors are fine. But things like the wing, it won't work on because it's too curved. It's that look at the angle you've got. It can only bend so much. But the boot lid it work on. So it's pretty cool like that, but it won't work on the dash, unfortunately. Hello, Simon. I was speaking about you earlier. You won your game. Good work, buddy. You are now the bowling champion of Milton Keynes. Good work, mate. Good to see you last night as well. And catch up. I was saying we were catching up about all things TT last night, which was good to see both yourself and Joe. Marcus, the Apple CarPlay would also fit many other Audis too. Yeah, it would be a really good feature. How if they are prepared to make one, they could make a killing on it. But it's down to them, isn't it? I can't force people to invent stuff. Stephen Harper, I have 2 USB under the drinks holder and I have a Sony radio in the car that the TT flat closes, but it's just a Bluetooth radio. It doesn't show mapped. Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? There was a TT aftermarket radio that I think is it Panasonic or Kenwood or someone that basically you open the flap, you press a button, and it comes out and opens up. But people want the TT flap closed, don't they? That's the thing. People don't want that out. But Simon, I was just talking about our road trip to France next year that we were discussing last night as well. So I think there's quite a few people that are interested in doing it. And guys, if you are interested in the road trip for next year, yeah, obviously get saving your pennies. I am going to do a full video on this year's trip that I will put out. Obviously, I won't go into too much detail about Monaco because there's already a Monaco video out there. And guys, if you've not seen my Monaco video, please click on the links on the channel and check that out because it was just unbelievable, a really good thing. But there's still a load of footage to come from all the mountains I've driven, our journey to the south, our journeys along the Estrelle Corniche, which is a fantastic mountain road along the coast, the coastal road to drive, views of the Mediterranean and lots of coastal towns. One place I was really disappointed with, actually, of all the places I went to, the only one place that really let me down was Antibes. I was really disappointed with Antibes. But being the French Riviera, I was expecting and where it is and the great stories I heard about it, I was imagining it to be amazing. And really, I could have been on Southend Seafront on purpose. Nothing wrong with Southend Seafront. I love Southend Seafront, but I don't want to drive 1,000 miles to be on Southend Seafront when I can drive 50 miles and be on it, if you know what I mean. The restaurants weren't great on the seafront. I'm sure there were better places to eat, but I wouldn't go back to Antibes next time. So there's one place I wouldn't go to. San Rafael, where we stayed there. We stayed at a beautiful hotel called Le Confidential. It's quite expensive, but it was a really cool hotel. And then what we're going to do for the trip next year is when we have places or towns we're going to stop at, I'm going to give you a few different options where you want to stay, and then we're going to say the locations. You can obviously book at the same hotels as us, or you can book locally. You can bring your tent if you want and camp in a tent site if you want to do that. If you want to make it as cheap or as expensive as you want for your trip, the only variables that we won't really be able to affect are going to be the fuel. So you're going to have to pay fuel. And if you said to me, how much have I spent on fuel in France in that trip? And I think I filled up 5 times when I was there. Not always full tanks of fuel, but fuel is very, very expensive in France right now. So I was putting 98 super in it, sans plomb, and it was around, well, it varied between €1.99 and about €2.17. So it's almost like £2 a litre almost. Not quite, but it's not far off. So when we're looking and we're paying about 150 a litre at the moment, it's quite a big difference. And I reckon I've probably spent between £400 and £500 on fuel, just to give you an idea. Um, yeah, Steve, we need to sort that video out. What I'm going to do, Steve, if it's all right with you, I'm going to bring the 3.2 up to you, and we can maybe do some. Oh, that's for the detailing when you're going to detail the car for me. But I think the actual machine polishing part of it, we're going to do is maybe a panel, won't we? I wonder if we can bring the Roadster up to you. Maybe we can just do a panel on that. How many miles did I do? I did 2,006 miles. And one feature that I found out on this trip um, is I reset the trip meter before we left, and I thought it was going to be just under 2,000 miles, and obviously 6 miles from home we were approaching the 2,000 mile mark, and I could see it was getting like 191, 192, 193. It was going up, or 1992, 1993. And then I looked at the dash and it went down to zero. So the trip on the TT doesn't go any higher than 1,999 miles. Interesting fact for you. So if you're going to do a 2,000 mile trip, it doesn't record it, or it didn't on mine anyway. So you've done some good reconnaissance. Yeah, I've done loads of good reconnaissance on it. So I'm yet to fill out the full detail and flesh it outside. But as I said last night, I think we will go down via Dijon, San Rafael for 3 days, and then on the trip back, we will probably come back along Rue de Napoleon. I think I'd like to stay in Le Clusat again because that is lovely. I'm going to work out that distance, but we'll stay in Le Clusat overnight. It's got a really great hotel there, top of the ski resort, and then we'll maybe come back. What I might even do, I might try and make it 8 days if we do Saturday to Sunday, and if we did that, it would allow us to have a journey back to Le Clusat, then maybe a journey back halfway up, and then a third day on the way back. So I've got to flesh that bit out at the moment, but it'll be a great trip anyway, and it'll be great to have so many of you along with it as well. I'd like to see the machine polishing video. Yeah, Steve, we're going to do that, aren't we? There's loads of videos to come to the channel. I've got so much video recorded at the moment. It's just getting time to edit it down. And I know that sounds like a real poor excuse. I do want to get videos out there. So I put the video out yesterday of the cartoon car. I'm going to do a video of part of the trip back. I'm going to do the Reims Guer Grand Prix visit we did, which we will do when we do the full trip. I think you'll find that interesting. It's a bit like a ghost town Formula One track if you've not been there. It'd be really good. I've always wanted to go there, and after seeing it, I think you guys would love it as well because then we can get all our cars lined up, our TTs lined up in front of the pits. Some good videos already out there on that, so if you want to check that out, please do it. Keith, did bank charge you a rip-off on your card changing sterling to euro? Would you be better with a Revolut card or changing currency? Keith, answer to that is yeah, you would definitely be better off having a Revolut card or similar. So what I'm a HSBC bank account holder, and I have got a Global Money card. So what I do, I transfer the money from sterling to my Global Money card. I pay the exchange rate at the bank, and then it's all in euros. So then when I'm buying things on my card, I'm not being charged that exchange rate. It's all done for me. I'd highly recommend doing that. You save yourself a fortune, particularly on things like hotel rooms. It soon starts racking the cost up. You can actually make quite a good saving by doing that. Me and Joe were thinking of next Ypres to start from Santander and work our way up. Wow, that's a cool idea, from Spain and coming up that way. That would be a pretty cool one. Marcus, I'm still trying to work out when you eat. I eat at well, I've been eating too much actually recently, so I need to get back on the old Monjaro because I've been putting so much weight back on. So need to sort that out, don't I really? But yeah, I don't really have time to sleep. Obviously, I sleep about 4 or 5 hours a night, if that, and the rest of the time I'm working on stuff, working on cars, working on content, coming up with ideas for you guys as well. Guys, if you're enjoying what you're watching, don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well. I see there's quite a few people watching, so please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm, helps me get my channel out there as well. And please do share this live wherever you may be you may be on social media, please get it out to as many people as possible. So it's good there. I think Marcus, you mentioned about t-shirts and hoodies, didn't you, as well? Andycharger hoodies. So guys, if you want Andycharger t-shirts like this or hoodies, you can buy them from my sell shirt shop as well. So if you want to check that out, there's a link on my channel homepage, but it's the URL is https sellshirts.com, so sellshirts.com/marketplace/Andycharger. There's a whole range of t-shirts and hoodies there. There will be in the next few days the new collection of Quattrophenia t-shirts coming out. So it's Quattrophenia 5. There's always a different style number for the back of it. It's a bit like a football shirt. So you've got like the logo on the front, you have the Quattrophenia across the shoulders, and then you have the number on the back. And it's number 5, so it'll be number 5 this year. So if you're interested in a Quattrophenia t-shirt, then definitely keep your eye on the page over the next few days. I'm going to go live for another sort of 5 minutes, I think, and then we'll probably wrap up for this evening. I've covered quite a few bits off, but if there's any questions you want to get in the comments to me tonight, guys, then please do let me know. If there's anything you feel I've missed out on as well, please do let me know. And I've covered a lot of things off tonight, but I want to make sure I've got all things covered for you this week. So hoodies are good, comfy ones. Yeah, Claire, they are lovely hoodies, aren't they? Really good quality. I know Claire's got one. There's quite a few of you out there that have now got Andycharger merch, which is great to see. Luckily, as I mentioned, the Romy found the last black Andycharger cap before we went away, which has been a godsend when I was away because it was allowing me to keep the sun off my head. Otherwise, I think I'd have been fried when we were out there. So the moleskin ones that I know that quite a few of you have got the moles. Well, I say quite a few of you. Lee's got one, hasn't he? Vanessa, I know Steve Chesham, you've got one. I think Angelo's got one as well. Those moleskin ones are really soft and comfy. So the black one I've got is more like a traditional baseball cap one, so it's a bit more rough and ready. There were the same number of both of those caps made. There was 10 of each made, but I don't know what I've done with any of those black ones because I don't remember selling any, or I've probably given one away to someone, but I've only got one left. So anyway, so I've got no caps left now. I need to get some more caps made, and I also need to get ready for the winter. I'm going to do beanies this winter as well, so Andycharger beanies. Andy, cheers for a great live. I'll be off now, mate. See you soon with details of another Southend on Sea Saturday, Sunday meet. Great, thank you, Jeff. So don't forget that will be a meet coming up over the next couple of months. Jeff will be organising another great meet at Southend Seafront. They're always a great meet. So thanks, Jeff. Thanks for your attendance along tonight. Save the mole, yeah. That cap is quality. Yeah, it's a nice quality cap in it, Steve. And I said I was selling them for less than I paid for them. But, you know, it's what you do. If you're ordering hundreds and hundreds of caps for people, you can probably, you know, you can sell them really cheap. But, you know, so I don't make any money on those hats at all. So there you go. With mustard, yeah, it's quite. Well, you added the mustard yourself, Steve. I can't take any credit for the mustard, but I would like to find where some of the black ones have gone. Because I'd like to have those at least for when people say I've got any caps, because I haven't. I've only got my own one. I also found another little trick as well, which I'm probably going to mention. If you are a user of the xenon headlights on your TT, that rather than beam benders that you need to put on the lens, there's actually a little switch on the back of the light. You can turn the little switch and you can angle the light the other direction. So you don't need to worry about European lights. So when you're in Europe, the lights are pointing the wrong way for European cars, although I never actually used my headlights when I was away, at night time at least anyway. And you can flick a little switch in the beam and it puts like a little deflector on it and it puts the beam the other way, masks it off a little bit. So yeah, so you can do that without sticking anything on your lights. Really good. Yeah, Jeff Southend meets are fantastic. Absolutely right, Steve. He used to do a Thursday night meet, but he says it's a nightmare to get to now on a Thursday night, right down there outside the little Rossi's ice cream shop. Not Rossi's, it's called Angelo's ice cream. It's definitely got like an Italian name, that ice cream place on the seafront there, and it's always a great turnout of cars. Southend gets a bit of a bad rep from people that use it as a bit of a, well, they're not so much anymore, but people used to rag their cars up and down at Southend, up and down past the machines and the Kurzel, whereas nowadays it's all quite well cordoned off, and you can't do that. But even still, there's still a lot of hooligans that go down there. So, but we tend to meet literally by the casino, and then we drive past all the arcades and out towards Shoebury and park down at Shoebury and have a meet and a chat on an evening. Always good fun. Always a great group of people and cars. Definitely recommend it if you've not been along to it before. But yeah, always a good night out. Have you got any more questions for me, guys, before I wrap up for the evening? I'm going to say Romy's off to Croatia on Wednesday. She's never in this country. I will say to her, she's way abroad and she's at home, but she's off to a drum and bass festival with my daughter on Wednesday for 6 days. So I want to see her before she heads off. After spending 2 weeks together, it feels quite weird to like not see each other as much now. We've lived each other's pockets, which has been great. Had a great 2 weeks with her, and she also the same, I think. So feels quite strange just to be back to normal life, to be honest. But TTs make great stories, don't they? And I'm sure that the TT that you owned has got its own great story too. So why don't you drop me a message if you want to feature your car here on the channel as well? If you've got a little story you want to tell me about your TT, then why don't you drop me an email and tell me all about it? And maybe we can feature your car as part of it. And of course, members, if you want to feature your car as the cover art for one of our weekly thumbnails on here, then please do send me a picture of your car if you want to get it featured. Again, that's for members. So members, if you want to feature your car here on the thumbnail, please send me the picture of your choice you'd like to use. I would say it has to be at least 1720 by 1780 by 920, I think the pixel ratio is. Or 820, is it? 1720 by 820. Anyway, it needs to be a high quality image. It can't be a small picture. It's otherwise when I zoom it up for a thumbnail, it loses its quality. It's got to be a HD image of your car. But if you want to choose a car of your choice, a picture of your choice of your car, and you're a member, then please send it in to me and I will happily feature it on one of the weekly shows. And of course, we can talk about your car here on the Monday Night Live as well, which is always really good to do. Still 18 if you want, actually. What about using mine? Yeah, I think your image, I didn't come back to on that. Your image quality is a bit too low. It doesn't actually come out very well. So I need you to get the car somewhere with like a nice plain background, a nice feature, and a high quality image. If you can get one of those, get it into me, then I'll happily feature your car on a thumbnail. We can talk about your car and maybe some of the challenges that you've had over the last few months with parts. I know that you have a lot of challenges in getting parts fixed for your car as well. So yeah, we can definitely cover that off. But yeah, I'm probably going to wrap it up there for tonight, guys. It's been great to have you on. It's been great to catch up with you all. Appreciate all your love and support for the channel. Thank you so much for those of you that have sent me a super thanks tonight using the little super thanks link down below. And for those of you that become a member tonight. So again, there's still opportunity if you want to become a member, click on the link below, become a member. Merton Green, good to have you on as well tonight. I just spotted you on for the first time. Nick, good to have you there. Anyone coming to? And it says anyone coming to, and there's nothing more. Where are we coming to, Nick? Let us know. I'll drop you a message, Mark, with my my PayPal link as well. But that's really kind of you to offer to support the channel like that. Anyone come to event 26 on Sunday? Nick, thanks. So, Nick, I think you the guy that I spoke to that told me all about the 2.8 V6 R5 TT at Vosprong show a couple of years ago. Was that you, Nick? Might have been. I think you were something to do with the TT Owners Club. That was it. Check my memory out. Check my memory out. I wanted to speak to you about something, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. So, Nick, if you can drop me an email, so I've got your contact details, and I will drop you a message when I remember what it was. I keep thinking, oh, I wish I knew what Nick's surname was, so I could get in touch with him. So, Nick, please drop me an email. Thanks, Vanessa. We'll pay. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're so kind, Vanessa. You're such a kind supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. Paul Hutchinson, yeah, so he's going to be there. So Nick, there you go. There's going to be a few people there at event 26. Is that the one at the? Is that at Gaydon Motor Museum? That one, or is it at or Donington? Is it Donington? Can't remember. It's one of those, I think, isn't it? But anyway, so so Nick, if you want to give some details on here about event 26 to give it a bit of publicity, I'm happy for you to do so. Let us know the details and we'll give it a quick shout out before people drop off. There's still 22 people on. People have actually joined since I said I was going to turn off. Yeah, Great Northerns Classic in Derby, free for all. Well, there you go. How cool is that? That's a free event for us. I guess that's on Sunday, is it, Nick, as well? What time does it start? If you've got a postcode, that would also be great. Now, of course, I used to do my 90 TT owners booked in. Wow, that's going to be amazing. That's going to be a great collection of TTs right there. As you may know, I've done quite a few event videos over the last few years for TT events. It was quite tricky to put them out on a monthly basis because I was ended up chasing a lot of people on Facebook groups for details. People were giving me incorrect information. I was putting out information that was actually events that weren't happening. People had put duff information out. So I was spent so much time chasing people up, but in the end, I've decided I will make events publicly known on my lives instead. So if you want to publicise any of your events, get in touch with me in the week building up to it, and I'll happily talk about them live on here as well. So yeah, so get along on Sunday if you want to the Great Northerners Classic, and yeah, those videos were really useful. Yeah, I know, Nick. It's just such a pain in the backside trying to chase people all the time. If people would be happily volunteer the information, I'd always put the video out. Hence why I'm happy to do it as part of the live on a Monday. I think the Monday night video is probably helping more people. I don't know, but maybe not. Looking forward to the event in Derby on Sunday. Andy's going. Andy Mortman's going. Great to see you going to be there on Sunday, Andy. Yeah, it's in Derby, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, guys, if you want to come along to that, definitely check it out. I am going to probably wrap it up there now. Kids, I'm going to wrap it up. But again, thanks for all your support, guys, of the channel. Thanks for all your messages on here tonight. Please do share the live with other people. Please do get it out there because you can watch it on repeat. So if you've missed any of it tonight, you can come back and watch it at a later date. I know a lot of people tend to do that and catch up with it at a later date. So videos coming this week. I think there will be. I still got to put the Springfest video out. I've not had a chance to put that together yet. I will try and get that out. I've got a weekend to myself this weekend to work on the cars and put videos together. So what I'll be doing this weekend, doing a lot of editing. So hopefully there'll be a video for you for definite for Sunday. I will try and get you out a video. Might one evening this week if I can put together the Grand Prix circuit video as well. We'll try and get stuff out as well. Mark, thanks, Andy. Love your content, mate. Great chatting. Speak soon, pal. Good night. Thanks, Marcus. Really appreciate that. Simon, thank you as well. Thanks for all your support, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will, of course, be live next Monday night for week 27 of TT Live. Don't forget to catch Bryn tomorrow night on his live as well. Thanks for your love and support, folks. And yeah, I'll speak to you all next week. Take care, all. Thanks a lot. Bye.